Good afternoon and welcome to Spectrum Television News at 12. I am Uyai Imam, come to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Kwabam State, Nigeria. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Tinubu says oil smuggling no longer thrives under his administration. Federal government says desertification threatens food security and livelihood. Plus, Kiev reportedly hit by a barrage of drone strikes as Vladimir Putin rejects Donald Trump's truce bid. We'll bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. To begin the news this afternoon, we head to the national scene where President Bola Tinubu has said that his administration has made smuggling of the nation's oil unpleasant. President Tinubu made this known to Nigerians in St. Lucia that his government inherited a country that was near bankruptcy but has been able to rescue the economy. He further noted that although Nigeria's per capita income is low, his administration is working to improve it. While interacting with Nigerians living in St. Lucia, President Tinubu promised to resolve some of the issues raised diplomatically. In the meantime, Vice President Kashim Shettima will on Monday, July 7, 2025, declare open a three-day national summit on nutrition and food security, themed Curbing Malnutrition and Food Insecurity Through Effective Synergy. The summit is organized by the House of Representatives Committee on Nutrition and Food Security. Chairman of the committee, Chike Okafo, disclosed this during a pre-summit media briefing in Abuja. According to him, the summit will be held from Monday, July 7 to Wednesday, July 9, 2025 at the National Assembly Complex, Abuja. Some of the stakeholders expected at the summit include the chairman of the APC Governors Forum, Governor Hope Uzodinma, former Governor Mohammed Bago, I beg your pardon, of Niger State, federal and state lawmakers, as well as representatives of relevant ministries, departments, and agencies, among others. Away from that, the federal government has decried the spread of desertification in large swaths in the north, warning that the crisis poses severe risk to food security, livelihoods, and the environment. Minister of Environment Balarabe Lawal, during a workshop to review the national policy on drought and desertification in Abuja, stated that 50 to 75% of the landmass in Bauchi, Borno, Gombe, Jigawa, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Sokoto, Yobe, and Zamfara states are impacted by desert-like conditions, describing the situation as the most pressing environmental challenge confronting the Nigeria's dryland region. Presented by the Permanent Secretary Mahmoud Kabari, the minister said that the affected states cover about 38% of Nigeria's land area and host nearly 27 million people, noting that these regions are at risk of poverty, food insecurity, and forced migration due to harsh and worsening environmental conditions. He further emphasized the need for a holistic approach that incorporates the perspectives of affected communities and stakeholders across sectors, urging participants of the workshop to examine outdated policy and contribute to developing a framework that is healthy and capable of reversing land degradation. From the Red Chambers, the Senate has said it will today kick off public hearings on the review of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The hearings will start in Lagos for the Southwest Zone and in four other states. The public hearings are aimed at subjecting proposals for the creation of 18 additional local governments, the establishment of state police, and far reaching reforms of the electoral system, among others, to public discourse. The Red Chamber also said it has scheduled to simultaneously hold similar public hearings in other geopolitical zones across the Federation, except the Northwest. Recall that the postponement of the Northwest public hearing was due to the demise of Kano's prominent businessman and philanthropist Aminu Dantata last Saturday. Back here on the home front, the Akwa Ibom State's House of Assembly yesterday announced changes to its leadership structure. This was revealed by the Speaker of the House, Odemoto, during plenary session. According to the new leadership lineup, Barrister Otobong Bob, member representing Nsugbe State constituency, has taken over as the new leader of the 8th Assembly, while Nsugbe Akata, member representing Eket State constituency, has been appointed deputy leader of the House. Additionally, Effiong Johnson has been named chief whip, while Samson Idiong serves as deputy chief whip. Recall that in the last sitting, the former House leader Sunday Johnny, member representing Onas State constituency, had declined to defect to APC alongside a member representing Etinan State constituency, citing reasons known only to himself. Reacting to the development, Otobong Bob expressed gratitude to Governor Moreno for APC leadership, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and members of the 8th Assembly for entrusting him with the responsibility. He pledged to utilize his new position to work tirelessly for the betterment of the people and the state. We move now to Africa, where former Deputy President of South Africa from the African National Congress Party, David Mabuza, has passed away at the age of 64. The party said Mabuza served one term as the Deputy President of the country from 2018 to 2023 and as the Deputy President of the African National Congress ANC from 2017 to 2022. He was also the provincial head of the country's Mpumalanga province from 2009 to 2018. ANC Secretary General Fikile Mabula, in a statement, noted that Mabuza dedicated his life to the service of the people of South Africa. On the foreign scene, a wave of intense Russian airstrikes has reportedly hit almost every district of Kyiv. According to reports, the attack comes shortly after a phone conversation between US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin, where Trump expressed disappointment over Putin's continued unwillingness to end the war. Meanwhile, reports say at least 23 people were injured, with damage recorded in schools, residential buildings, and railway infrastructure. Still on the foreign scene, Russia has become the first country to formally recognize Taliban rule, with Afghanistan's Foreign Minister Amir Muttaqi calling it a courageous decision. He met Russia's ambassador to Afghanistan, Dmitry Zenov, in Kabul, where Zenov officially conveyed his government's decision to recognize the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. Mataki said it was a new phase of positive relations, mutual respect, and constructive engagement, adding that the shift would serve as an example to other countries. Reports said the Taliban have sought international recognition and investment since they returned to power in August 2021, despite increasing violations of human rights. Still to come in the news. Fulham rejects Atletico Madrid bid for Nigerian midfielder Alex Iwobi. Stay tuned for details of this and more in a moment.
Broadening your horizon is what every living being not only genuinely desires, but heartily pursues and intentionally invests in. For in the gathering of men, only those whose minds are in tune with the dynamics of the past, present, and future innovations, inventions, politics, and governance are respected. They are Spectrum Television, and broadening your horizon is our obsession. Rescan your decoder now to connect Spectrum Television on the frequency 12589, symbol rate 26250. That is frequency 12589, symbol rate 26250, polarization horizontal, and join our online community at spectrumtvlive.ng. For further inquiries, please call 0704 158 5642 or 0704 541 7707. Spectrum Television, broadening your horizon.
Thanks for staying tuned. And now to the rest of the news stories. On our business news, the federal government has fixed July 23rd and 24th, 2025, for a national stakeholders forum to address mounting concerns over petrol pricing and supply dynamics in the downstream sector amid growing agitation by independent marketers for price regulation. The planned summit, organized by the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA, is expected to bring together industry operators, marketers, refiners, and government officials to deliberate on petroleum pricing standards, feedstock adequacy, and strategies to stabilize the deregulated market. The executive director of hydrocarbon processing plants, installation, and transportation infrastructure at the NMDPRA, Francis Ogare, confirmed the date and summit at the just concluded 24th Nigeria Oil and Gas Energy Week held in Abuja. The director further stressed the need for dialogue to build a resilient pricing system in the post subsidy era. Still in business, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC) has disclosed that efforts on the Nigerian government to mandate upstream oil producers to allocate a portion of their output to domestic refineries were resisted by several companies last year. According to a report by the Commission, the oil firms resisted supplying crude to the Dangote Petroleum Refinery and other local plants, citing various reasons. As the regulators strive to enforce the domestic crude supply obligation, DCSO, it was said that oil producers submitted formal letters requesting waivers or outlining why they could not meet the monthly crude volumes allocated to them under the DCSO. Reports say the resistance came despite multiple engagements and the gazetting of the production curtailment and domestic crude supply obligation regulations in September 2023. On our health news, the Nigerian Medical Association (NMA) has supported the federal government's decision to deploy Nigerian doctors and health workers to St. Lucia, describing the move as inexcusable at a time when the country's health sector is facing a deep crisis. The Medical Association accused President Bola Tinubu's administration of neglecting the welfare of medical professionals at home while offering far better remunerations to those it plans to send abroad. The enemy national body insisted that it was unjustifiable that the federal government would pay Nigerian doctors deployed to St. Lucia 40.8 million naira per year, while their counterparts in St. Lucia were paid 131.7 million naira annually by the Louisian government, even as the Nigerian doctors pra- practicing, I beg your pardon, at home to earn 11.9 million naira per annum. Recall that Nigeria signed a technical manpower assistance agreement with the government of St. Lucia, paving the way for the deployment of skilled Nigerian professionals to the Caribbean nation to deepen South South cooperation and reconnect with the African diaspora. The NMA, in a statement by its Secretary General, Dr. Ben Ebo, described the move as an attempt to project Nigeria in a positive light internationally while failing to address the dire conditions of its domestic health workforce. He warned that such decisions would worsen the ongoing brain drain in the health sector, which has already seen thousands of doctors leave the country in recent years in search of better opportunities abroad. We move now to sports where Fulham has rejected Spanish Atletico Madrid's bid for Nigerian midfielder Alex Iwobi. According to reports, Atletico Madrid submitted a $21.5 million, I beg your pardon, bid for Iwobi this week and offered him a 4-year contract with a salary worth 7 million euros yearly. The 29-year-old was reportedly open to the idea of playing in Spain, but Fulham are not willing to sell one of their best players. Still in sports, Borussia Dortmund have confirmed that they have agreed to a deal to sell Jamie Gittins to Chelsea. Gittins is expected to put pen to paper on a 7-year contract at Stamford Bridge. The 20-year-old will cost the Blues around £55 million. Gittins moved to Dortmund from Manchester City in 2020, but made his senior debut in 2022. Since then, the English winger has made a total of 107 appearances in all competitions, scoring 17 goals. Lastly, on the news at this hour in entertainment, famous British rapper Skepta has challenged his American counterparts to a rap battle. Reports say there is an ongoing debate over the superiority of US and UK rap, otherwise known as grime. Skepta said he believes a rap battle between British and American rappers would finally settle the long-standing debate. He also offered to set up some UK rappers against US rappers. He paired Get with Eminem, Chip with Kendrick Lamar, and Dave with Lil Wayne, among others. And that's all we have in the news at this hour. Do well to follow us on social media, subscribe to the YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, SpectrumTVLive.ng. This has been Spectrum Television News at 12. I am Uyai MM. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good afternoon. Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon.